Morning. This lesson is for lesson 119 for Thursday, May 6th. Adding and subtracting fractions with different denominators. But first, our first question has a triangle with 3 different measurements. So here are the measurements. It wants to know the perimeter. So you'll just add them up and label it centimeters. So that one's plain enough. I'll let you go ahead and do that. Number 2 is wondering if this triangle is an equilateral, isosceles, or scalene. All right, equilateral, it means that all angles are the same and all sides are the same length. And clearly with these measurements, it is not an equilateral. So isosceles and scalene. So scalene is when they have all different angles and measurements. So we're going to go ahead and go with a scalene where they're all different. Number 3, T-Ron drove 285 miles in 5 hours. What is the average speed in miles per hour? Check the correct answer. So you'll check the box. So number 3, we will go 285 divided by 5 hours. Will tell us approximately how many miles per hour he's going. So 5 can't go into 2, so we'll go ahead and go to 28. 5 goes into 28. 5 times 5 is 25. 28 minus 25 is 3. And then we will bring down our 5. And so we have 5 into 35. 35 divided by 5 is 7. 7 times 5 is 35, so we will subtract. And we have no remainder. So approximately how many miles per hour is T-Ron driving? All right, Elsa found, for number 4, Elsa found 3/8 of the 32 pencils in the room had no erasers. How many pencils had no erasers? So if we take 32 pencils, we'll divide it by 8 to figure out what 1/8 is. And then we'll multiply that number by our numerator 3. And that'll tell us how many pencils there are. So 32 divided by 8. So I can even count up on my fingers. 8, 16, 24, 32. So that's 4. So now to find out how many pencils did not have erasers, we'll go 4 times 3, and that will tell you your answer. Number 5, what is the probability of drawing a heart from a full deck of cards? All right. So there are 13 hearts in a deck of 52. So it wants to know if it's 1/4 of the deck or 3/4 of the deck. So let's divide 52 by 4 and see how if it's 1/4 or 3/4. So 52 divided by 4. 4 goes into 5 one time. 1 times 4 is 4. We'll subtract. 5 minus 4 is 1. Bring down our 2. 4 into 12, or 12 divided by 4 is 3. 3 times 4 is 12. So our answer is approximately 1/4 of the deck is hearts. All right, now number 5. It wants us to use words to write the number that is listed. I'm not going to write it out for you. What I'm going to do is say it for you, and you can either write it down and then match it up when you get on the lesson, or I can say it to you and you can read it as you're going through the lesson. So here's the number. So let me write it down so you can see it. So I'm going to go ahead and put in commas because that will help us. 123,415,720. So let me say that again for you so you can write it down. If you need to pause the video to write it or to find it, go ahead and pause the video. 123,415,720. Okay, number 7, find each sum. Reduce when possible. So we're going to be adding fractions. 1/2 plus 2/6. Now to add these fractions, we need to find a common denominator. So 2 and 6, the least common denominator is going to be 6. Now on our 2, to make sure that it has a common denominator, we will need to multiply 1/2 by 3/3. So 2 times 3 is 6. 1 times 3 is 3. So now we can take that and add it with this. So let's go 2/6 plus 3/6, and we'll just bring our denominator right over, so we can just bring 6 over. Now what is 2 plus 3? 5/6. Can we reduce that? Is there anything that goes into both 5 and 6? There is not. So this is as small as it will go. Okay, we'll do the same thing on number 8 and number 9. All right, number 8, reduce when possible, 1/8 plus 1/2. All right, now they don't have a common denominator, so we need to find a common denominator. 2 and 8 will go into 8, so we'll do that. To find that, we'll need to multiply 1/2 by 4/4, because 2 times 4 equals 8. So let's go ahead and do that. So we'll have 1/2 times 4/4 equals, so 2 times 4 is 8. 1 times 4 is 4. So that will give us our 1/2. So we'll add 1/8 plus 1/2, plus 4/8 equals, now we'll just bring over our denominator of 8. Now what is 1 plus 4? Now is there anything that will go into both 5 and 8? Well, 5 is a prime number, so it has only 2 factors, 1 in itself. So no, nothing will go into 5/8. So that is as small as it will go. All right, number 9. We'll do the same thing with 2/3 minus 2/9. Now to figure it out, we need to have a common denominator. So 3 goes into both 3 and 9. So what do we need to multiply 3 by to make 9? And that's how we'll figure out what we need to multiply this by. So it'll be 3. So let's go 2/3 times 3/3 equals, that's how we'll find our common denominator. So 3 times 3 is 9. 2 times 3 is 6. So 2/3 is equivalent to 6/9. So now we can add that up. 6/9 minus 2/9 equals. All right. So we bring over our common denominator of 9 and go 6 minus 2 equals 4. Now do 4 and 9 have any common factors so that we could reduce it? It does not. So 4 has 2, but 2 does not go into 9. 9 is an odd number, so we'll leave that as it is. So that is our answer there. All right, number 10, we are doing long division. 450 divided by 15. Okay, so again, I'm going to estimate and I'm going to add up, and an easy way to do that is do it over here on the side. So if I have one group of 15 is 15, 2 groups of 15 is 30, 3 groups of 15 is 45. So I can see that 15 will go into 45 3 times. So I'll put a 3 above my 5. 3 times 15 is 45. I'll subtract, I get 0. I bring down my 0. 15 can't go into 0, so it's a 0. So my answer is 30. 15 will go into 450 30 times. So that wraps up our lesson for today. Please press submit before you enter it so that I can make sure I get your scores. I hope you're doing well and come to the parade today at 2. We'll see you then.